Janice Ann Blackburn was born on February 14, 1951 in McMinnville, Oregon. She was the daughter of Donald and Farrell Blackburn and had a sister, Ilona, who was 2 years older than her. Janice was called Jan by her friends and relatives. She was only 5 feet tall and weighed around 100 pounds. She had green-gray eyes and long blonde hair parted in the middle, reaching down to the middle of her back. Friends described her as intelligent, outgoing, popular, and full of life. Her bright personality earned her the nickname Sunshine Girl at work. According to her dad, Janice believed that through her own kindness she could truly help others who needed help in changing for the better. From 1965 to 1969, she attended Shadle Park High School in Spokane, Washington, where she participated in many extracurricular activities offered by her school. She was a cheerleader in the High Lassies group, a member of the ski club and the Eldatra art club, and helped in the library. What's interesting, during her high school days, Janice dated Dennis Rancourt, the older brother of Susan Rancourt, Ted Bundy's third victim. Janice graduated from high school in 1969 with honors. Then she attended Eastern Washington State University, where she earned a bachelor's degree in social work. On December 15, 1972, Janice married James Douglas Ott. In 1974, Janice was 23 years old and was working as a probation officer in the King County Juvenile Court. After someone broke into her car, she decided that living in a smaller community would be safer for her, so she moved with a roommate to a small house on Front Street in Issaquah. At the time, her husband Jim was in Riverside, California, pursuing graduate studies in the design of prosthetics for people with disabilities at the University of Washington. Due to work, Janice was unable to move with her husband to California, 2,000 kilometers away. It was hard for them because they had only been married for a year and a half, but they had to live apart for a few months. During this time, they called and wrote letters to each other, and Janice was scheduled to join Jim in California in September. The morning of July 14, 1974, Janice spent washing her clothes at the laundromat and then drinking a cup of coffee with a friend. It was an unusually sunny and warm day in Seattle. The temperature ranged between 80 to 90 degrees. So after completing her chores, Janice decided to spend some time sunbathing at Lake Sammamish State Park in Issaquah. She went home to change, and before leaving, Janice left a note on the door in which she was telling her roommate that she was going sunbathing. At the end of the note, she drew a little sun. She arrived at Lake Sammamish State Park on her yellow 10-speed Tiger bike around 12 p.m. She laid her yellow bike down on the sand, spread her towel next to it, stripped down to her bathing suit, and began to sunbathe. Approximately 40,000 people came to Lake Sammamish State Park that day, and many fun events took place, including Rainier Beer employees hosting their annual picnic at the park. Many people noticed Janice on the beach and remembered her. During the investigation, they mentioned seeing her stripping down to a bikini and applying cocoa butter to her skin. About 20 minutes after she arrived, at around 12:30 p.m., a man with his arm in a sling approached her. He said that he needed help with loading the sailboat onto his car. He informed her that the sailboat was near his parents' house, so they would have to get in his car to get there. According to some sources, Janice didn't seem eager to help. She had just arrived and wanted to spend some time relaxing on the beach rather than going to strangers' houses. But the man insisted, and Janice was nice and helpful, so she finally agreed. Another source said she wasn't annoyed at all. She was very polite and willing to help. What is certain, however, is that the man introduced himself to her as Ted, which later turned out to be a groundbreaking clue in the case of the disappearances of young women in the area. Janice asked him if her bike would fit in his car, and when he confirmed, she walked with him towards the parking lot. Unfortunately, the man with his arm in a sling was Ted Bundy, a serial killer who had already killed at least 6 young women at this point, and of course, everything he told Janice was a lie. His arm was fine and there was never any sailboat. He already knew from experience that the most effective way to attract women is to use their kindness and willingness to help. As soon as they get into his car, he drove Janice to a secluded location 10 to 15 minutes away. Janice was never seen alive again. 4 hours after Janice's disappearance, another woman who was spending the day at the beach with her friends and her boyfriend, 18-year-old Denise Naslund, went to the bathroom and never returned. When police learned of the disappearance of two women within hours of each other in the same place, they immediately assumed the cases were related. Police also believed the disappearances were linked to other missing persons cases from earlier this year. Janice called to her husband Jim every night at 10. When there was no call from her on the evening of July 14th, Jim was the one who called her, but no one answered the phone. He called from time to time until late in the evening. He also called the next day, on Monday, but there was still no answer and he went to sleep by the phone. He didn't know she hadn't come home from Lake Sammamish on July 14th. A few days later, he caught a plane and flew to Seattle. He rented an apartment in a motel, where he waited for any words about the search for his missing wife. In her book The Stranger Beside Me, Anne Rule mentioned the talk she had with Jim a few days after Janice disappeared. He told her that he was woken up in the night, and heard Janice's voice as clear as she was in the room with him, calling his name. On Tuesday morning he found out about her vanishing. He said, "It's funny, I'd sent Janice a card that crossed in the mails with her letter. It was one of those sentimental cards, with a guy and a girl on it. Kind of walking into the sunset. It said, 'I wish we were together again, much too long without you.' And then I wrote at the bottom, and I don't know why I chose just those words, 'Please take care of yourself. Be careful about driving. Be careful of people you don't know. I don't want anything to happen to you. You're my source of peace of mind.'" He also recalled that during their last phone call, which took place on the day before Janice went missing, Janice was complaining about how long it took for mail to get from Washington to California. She said she'd just mailed me a letter, but she thought she'd call because it took 5 days for me to receive it. In that letter she'd written 5 days. Isn't that a drag? Someone could expire before you ever got wind of it. That's incredibly sad, but Jim got the letter after Janice's death. After Janice's disappearance, her father Donald spoke to the press asking for help in finding his daughter. He said, "We recognize the tremendous job that all of the police officials have been doing in this area, the search and rescue units. Everyone has just been tremendous. But if the addition of individuals and private groups, the information that they might be able to get that would be helpful, can help with the return of our daughter, we would do anything to facilitate with that. She's a beautiful, wonderful girl." The day Denise and Janice were kidnapped, the beach was very crowded. It was almost wall-to-wall people. Because of that, it is not surprising that many people saw Janice at the beach that day. During the investigation, it turned out that Bundy was also saw there. Several women reported that a man with his arm in a sling asked them for help with unloading a sailboat on his car. He was wearing white tennis shoes, white socks, white shorts, and a white t-shirt. One of the women, 22-year-old Janice Ellen Graham, agreed to help him and went with him to his car. But when they reached the parking lot, and she didn't see a sailboat nearby, she became a little concerned. When she asked him about it, he replied that he forgot to tell her that the sailboat was at his parents' house, and that they had to go there in his car. Until now, Janice thought she would quickly help the man and return to the beach. She told him that in that case, she cannot help him because she had to meet her parents and her husband soon. The man politely accepted her refusal, and thanked her for making it to the parking lot with him. Janice returned to the beach, and at approximately 12:30 p.m. she noticed the same man walking toward the parking lot with a blonde woman pushing her bicycle. A 15-year-old girl named Sylvia Valent turned out to be a key witness of the abduction of Janice Ott. Sylvia was sitting a few feet away from Janice when a man approached her. He was of medium build, had blonde brown hair down to his neck parted to the side, and had a dark tan. As he did with other women, he said he has an injured arm and asked her for help with unloading his sailboat on his car. Sylvia refused. She said her friends would be back soon and they would be worried if she wasn't here. The man then asked the blonde-haired woman next to Sylvia the same question. It was Janice, and as we already know, she agreed to help him. Sylvia heard the woman say her name was Jan, and the man responded to her saying that his name was Ted. The description of a suspect was published in the local press and on television news. A lot of people, including Ann Rule's former colleague, a former psychology professor, and Bundy's girlfriend Elizabeth Klopfer, pointed him as a possible suspect. However, the police did not pay special attention to these reports, because they received up to 200 reports a day on this case, and Theodore Bundy was a decent law student. The lakeside park was closed to the public while police divers searched the lake. Explorer Scout search and rescue teams, both on foot and on horseback, searched the 400-acre park. Seattle police helicopters circled the area. Sheriff's patrol cars circled slowly around the area. They looked into old barns and empty houses. Ultimately, they found nothing. There were no ransom demands, so it was obvious that the kidnapper didn't take the women because he wanted money. The police asked people who were in the park that day to lend them all the photos they had taken that day. It didn't help then, but years later the murderer was caught, and it turned out that he drove a car similar to those captured in the photos. The photos show several Volkswagen Beetles parked in the Lake Sammamish Park parking lot. Many people believed that one of them was probably Ted Bundy's car. However, Bundy denied that it was his Volkswagen, and officially none of the cars in the photos belonged to him. Janice's bike was also a mystery, because it vanished just like her. It wasn't a type of bicycle that can be quickly disassembled for easy transport. A full-size 10-speed wouldn't fit in the trunk of a Volkswagen. Still, no one saw a car with a bicycle on the rack or sticking out of the car. Despite the efforts of the police and the families of Denise and Janice, no traces of the girls were found. Nearly 2 months after Janice and Denise's disappearance, on September 6, 1974, grouse hunters found human remains near an access road in Issaquah, about 2 miles from Lake Sammamish State Park, and only a 5-minute drive from Janice's residence. Most of the remains were identified by dental records as those of Janice and Denise. The cause of death of neither woman could be determined, but both cases were considered homicides. Additionally, some of the bones among the discovered remains belonged to neither Janice nor Denise. These remains are believed to be those of Georgian Hawkins, an 18-year-old University of Washington student who disappeared in the early morning hours of June 11. Unfortunately, the remains were never officially identified, and to this day, Georgian remains a missing person. We don't know for sure how or when Janice died, and Bundy never directly admitted to murdering her and Denise. He spoke about many of his crimes in the third person, speculating on what in his opinion the killer might have done, since such testimony could not directly incriminate him. The Lake Sammamish murder testimony was just that. According to Bundy, he did not kill Janice immediately after kidnapping her. He said he gagged her, tied her to a tree, and went looking for the next victim, who in this case was 18-year-old Denise Naslund. When he returned with Denise, he attacked and murdered her in front of Janice, and then did the same things to her. He did not tell investigators the exact place where he kept the girls, or whether he murdered them indoors, or somewhere in the wooded area. However, this confession cannot be considered true without a doubt, not least because it was one of many third-person confessions Bundy made to Stephen Michaud. Bundy was known for lying and making up stories about his victims and their murders, so there is a possibility that this was also a lie. Another theory is that Bundy did not plan to kidnap 2 women that day. According to this theory, Janice must have fought really hard or done something that left Bundy unsatisfied after he murdered her and had to look for another victim. For the victims' families, Bundy's testimony and execution brought a painful focus to the grief that began 15 years earlier with the news that their family member went missing. Some families of the victims said Bundy's testimony about their daughters' and sisters' final moments brought them some peace because it dispelled their small doubts about whether Bundy was actually a murderer. However, some families who were given details of the killing said they would have preferred Bundy not to speak at all before his death. Donald Blackburn, Janice's father, was part of this group. He said he would rather not know what happened to Janice. He asked, "Would you like to hear the story of what happened to your daughter?" The police delayed returning Janice and Denise's remains to their families. They were told that the police needed them as evidence in the case, but later it turned out that they had simply lost them. The two families sued the county in 1984. Janice's husband Jim and her parents, Donald and Farrell, sought $2 million each, but as part of the settlement they received approximately $112,500, which they divided equitably between them. Janice's dad Donald died in 2010 at the age of 88, and her mom Farrell in 2018 at the age of 97. After Janice's death, her husband Jim remarried and started a family with his second wife Angela, but died in 1998 at the age of 46. Sadly, his daughter Casey died in 2006, aged just 24, after a long battle with heart disease. Janice's sister Ilona relocated to Lompoc in California. She is married to a man named Gary and have 2 kids with him. Janice passed away on July 14, 1974 at the age of 23. An urn in her memory is located at Fairmount Memorial Park in Spokane, Washington, along with her parents' urns. If she was alive, she would be 73 years old today.